Welcome back. I'm Hugh Hewitt. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on the Salem Radio Network. Saturday mornings, I am right here on MSNBC. And with me is the former White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus. His second extended interview. The first was on Meet the Press since leaving the White House. Reince, a lot of people know about your time in the White House, but before that, as chairman of the RNC, you led the reform effort that organized the primaries into a coherent calendar, which moved up the convention to, it was originally going to be June, and then the Cavs won the title, so it had to be July.
Yes.
And then, of
You're
course,
happy about that.
The 12 debates of which I participated in 4 of them, and those debates actually changed American politics forever. Yep. Did you have any idea when you organized the debate calendar and insisted that there be a conservative presence on the stage that you were in fact setting a new set of rules that would be ideal for Donald Trump?
No, I thought it was going to be ideal for showcasing really great candidates. It was going to be ideal for putting the party committee in front and giving the party some leverage over the actual nomination process of the party. It used to be many years ago, delegates would run in particular states. The delegates would get elected by people in their states within the party, and the party infrastructure would elect a delegate. The delegate would go to the convention and choose the nominee of which they're a delegate from. Somewhere along the way, the party decided, you know what, we could get a lot more people involved in the process if we bind the decision of the delegate to the overall decision of people in the state, so get more people involved. Well, that created an entire complication which decentralized the power of a political party. If you were, if you were a member of the NRA, you would vote for the president of the NRA, but you would be a member of the NRA and you'd pay money.
Yeah.
Well, in our party, we got to the point where people that weren't really involved in the party were picking the nominee of the party.
Right.
And I tried to do things to bring that control back to the Republican Party.
Very successful things. Things that got President Trump in a position to win the amazing upset. However, now Tom Perez is sitting over at the DNC. And by the way, who do you have on your radar as the top 2 or 3 Democrats you're worried about?
You know, I'm not really worried about much of any of them.
Come on.
It's hard to tell. No, it's hard to tell. I mean, if Vice President Biden's going to run, I think he would be he would be formidable. Look,
Kamala Harris,
I think a lot of the others are kind of. And I don't find that the bench to be incredibly strong, and that's what they have. They have a bench that is sort of like a mile wide and an inch deep. They're decimated in governors. They really have no leadership in the U.S. Senate. Very difficult for a House member to come out of nowhere. So
here's the problem. They have a mile-wide bench, and they all want to run for president. I mean, we're looking at Oprah and Mark Cuban all the way over to Tim Ryan, my congressman.
I would suspect not so much Joe Biden. I would suspect something that we're not thinking about. Someone in business, someone maybe from Hollywood. I would think it's going to be something
Bob Iger
that's
from Disney,
not yet discovered.
Okay, so Perez is sitting over there, and he's got no money, and people are leaving, and they're internally divided. It's not unlike when the RNC from Michael Steele. There was a mess that you had to create. What's your advice to Tom Perez specifically about debates, because they have changed the way that it works? People are going to want a lot of them, and there are going to be a lot of Democrats. Would you advise him to have a committee to cut people out who have no path to the nomination, or would you do it the Reince way, which is everyone gets a shot who's above 2%?
Well, first of all, just real quick, just to say something polite, which is right. You know, Michael Steele, I thought, had this enormous amount of God-given talent. He's really smart and sharp, and he did. We did win the House when he was chairman, so he gets the kudos for that. As to Perez, you know, I think their superdelegates is a disaster. They need to get rid of superdelegates completely. I think they need to obviously control the debate calendar, make sure they're having some say over who the panelists are. And be a little bit of an authoritarian on the process, because it's actually the process of the parties that control who should be the nominee of the party. And if there's no value of the party and the party doesn't have anything to give, then the party loses its way. The other piece that you have to do, which we did at the RNC, is we built up a, I don't remember the exact number, but over 6 years, probably over $1 billion of infrastructure that we were able to give the winner of our 16-person debate and primary situation. And so, unlike the Democrats, we at the RNC built hundreds of millions of dollars in data and voter identification, turnout, a lot of boring things that people don't like to talk about, but it's important that the party build it and then whoever wins that race plugs into it.
They get the key.
That's what President Trump did. No, President Trump, as far as a candidate in the electorate that we were in, he was actually the perfect candidate for the situation we were in at that time. But what he also had was a national party that was basically the guts and the nuts and bolts of the
Right. He would also go on any show. I interviewed him 16 times.
That's right.
Why has he stopped that? I mean, he still tweets. Why has he stopped engaging? Because he very rarely loses, though, engagement. But he does not do long-form interviews
I would
anymore.
say one thing about the president that he could do better than anyone is take an issue on and put it to bed. And he did that in the West Wing. And we would be relieved for a number of days after the president decided, I'm going to do a press I feel it. Let's do a press conference today. I'm going to deal with these issues. And when he did, everything went away for a while. And he was good at that. Personally, it's not my business anymore. But if I were him, if I was advising him, I would say do more media, because I think he's really good at it.
More media? How about more tweets, less tweets?
You know, look, I've been on both sides of this issue with the tweets, and initially, I'm a straight-laced guy. You know what I mean? I'm a traditional.
You and I are both Midwesterners. Rob Portman, Republican.
I would be the guy, yep. Don't tweet this, do tweet that, don't this, don't that. And others chimed in, even the First Lady and the family. But, you know, in the end of the day, he goes through the whole campaign. He's listening to people like me saying, don't tweet this, don't tweet that. And he tweeted it, and he won.
Anyone.
And so I'm at a place now on the whole tweeting issue that I think more or less people like me were wrong and people like him were right.
Last question is about the cabinet. You were there through the transition. It is the most conservative cabinet of my lifetime. My son worked for Scott Pruitt, so I always have to declare that. But Scott's a friend. Rick Perry is a genius. We want every part of energy going. I think Ryan Zinke opening up parts of the coast is a good thing. Are you happy with the way cabinet government has turned out under Donald Trump? He does seem to actually to have reverted to cabinet government.
Yeah, I mean, and he empowers the secretaries as well. He really doesn't micromanage what they want, who they want to hire, and he lets them govern. I think that the cabinet is something that, you know, personally I'm very proud of. I played a part in that, yeah. And I thought if you look at the people that he's put in place from top to bottom, it is really the cream of the crop.
Any doubt in your mind that he is running for re-election in 2020?
No, of course he's going to run. There's no chance.
Any doubt in your mind that Mike Pence will be his colleague on that ticket?
I have no doubt about that. And I think he's, you know, look, you see the approval numbers are coming back up. And by the way, I always remind people, they always love to talk about his approval number. Oh, it's 38%, it's 40%. On election day, it was 37, and he won. And now he's in the low 40s to mid 40s. I think some had him even higher than that. The point is that in December he was at 32. One had him at 42, and I think Rasmussen or something had him at 47 or 48. He's
getting close.
Like I mean, look, I think he's going to be very tough to beat because I think the economy is going to be strong and people are going to see what's happening.
You're right. Reince Priebus, thank you for coming in and joining me very much. I will be right back.